Welcome back, Trailblazers, for another episode of Talk About It with our favorite trail leaders.
Hi, Jenna, the muscle mommy.
Hey, Britt Inez ran.
And Vanessa, that girl squats. And today we are talking about why you should toot your own horn.
Toot toot.
Oh,
Toot,
yes,
toot.
beep beep.
Yeah. We are 1 week out from Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And that
God,
also,
this year flew by quick.
I know.
I can't believe it.
It's wild.
It's going to be summer 2025 before we know it.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm going to be
Ooh,
65
and we're gonna have
before now.
titties. I'm so excited. I'm sorry. Digress. That's all I talk about these days. So that means that New Year's coming up very quickly, which is the reason why we need to build that self-confidence, why we need to toot our own horn, why it's important to have that self-confidence and all that stuff. So can we take a moment to toot your own horn about 2024 for each of you? Like, I want
Sure.
you guys to give us some brags, some humble brags that aren't so humble.
Okay.
I competed at the Olympia, so I won a show. Yeah, I won a show and competed at the Olympia. That was like my biggest accomplishment for sure. And my business has expanded. Personal training has really taken off.
I
So,
love that.
yeah.
And you love it.
Oh, I love what I do.
You know how many people out there who are miserable every day because they wake up and do something that they hate?
Yeah, I used to be that person.
Yeah.
And I was like, screw this.
Such a good way.
Yeah. Like my souls need to stay intact here.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. What about your brags?
Oh, gosh. My brags for the year. I'm so bad about bragging about myself.
I'll brag for her.
Oh, gosh.
So,
I might add someone, but go ahead. You might inspire me.
Britt has monetized her YouTube channel.
Oh, I
Oh,
forgot about that. Okay. She had to say something to jog my memory.
She
that's awesome.
Thank you.
placed very well in her national shows. There was the New Jersey one, which was fucking stacked, but she looked phenomenal. She has expanded her business. She has been very consistent. She has been able to scale.
Okay, all right. You jogged my memory. Don't give me that face. So you know your friends when they like pump you up and then they give you a side eye. Okay, let me just start here.
Well, I give her the side eye because she's like, I didn't do anything this year. I'm like, what are you talking about? Literally.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's easy if you're like,
When you're on the inside of it doing it,
yeah,
and I think a big part of that is because like the bar keeps constantly raising and raising and raising, so you always feel like you're at the next, like the work's not done.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
feel, but you got to take that step back. So to build off what you said, thank you for that. I really built a community this year that I have been longing to do and I have been craving to do. And I really feel like I stepped into the power of just my own voice
yes.
in a much more impactful way
Yep.
than I have in all the years that I have been out and about on the internet streets, as they kind of call it.
Yeah,
You know what I
yep.
mean? So I really vibe with that. And I just have a lot of connections in my life now that I didn't have at the beginning of this year. And it just feels kind of like we were talking about the other day. It just feels so just like a flow. Like everything is just like ticking and tying together in an alignment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just kind of opened the doors for me to have all these other things kind of come in. The YouTube being one of them. Growing my clientele, has just been another one. And what else? I would say the big one for me though has just been getting over the imposter syndrome that kept me stagnant for years. So that's my big one. Because once I did that, everything else kind of happened.
Yeah. Like just stepping into your confident self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not caring what people think about it.
Yes.
Like, and just being like, okay, yeah, this is me. Take it or leave it.
That's what we kind of touch about like on this podcast. Like,
Yeah.
if this is a failure, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have that fear of failure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big thing to try to do something, you know what I mean? That like podcasts are so common these days,
Yeah.
and like they're rampant. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't really care. And I don't mean this in a bad way where I'm going to not put effort into it, but if it doesn't perspire the way that we
Want.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like if
But
it
it's
doesn't,
going to.
it will, but like if it doesn't unfold, right? If it doesn't unfold that way, it's like, and what?
Yeah.
Like you said, nobody died.
Yeah, no one died. We're still here.
We're still here. We're still,
Sun's still gonna rise.
yeah, like we're still gonna do our thing, and we can say, you know, we learned some things.
The biggest thing is that I just always want to make sure that this is fun, and whenever it stops being fun, then we need to reevaluate, because that is the biggest thing that I take into consideration for you guys, because you guys are giving me your time. I'm also giving time too, and I'm doing a lot of the grunt work of it, but I feel like it needs to always be enjoyable to get the most out of it, and to be authentic, and to make sure that we are filling each other's cups up, and then showing other people how to do the same thing, and then everything else will just kind of follow as they will. We do obviously have long-term goals, but long-term goals is like what we've talked about was like more like 5-year plan than anything.
Yeah.
You're drinking coffee, you're eating.
I want to savor all this caffeine goodness right now. Can we talk about chirp rags though? Like,
yes,
because I can toot your horn all day. So,
Okay.
are you gonna make me do this?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Gladly. Okay, I will gladly do that. For her.
going to the Olympia and filming.
First of all, I have just watched you grow so incredibly much since the day we met until where you are now. It's like, it was almost like I watched you begin to believe in your own self. And like outside looking in, like as your bestie, like I'm sitting here like, oh my God, it's happening. You know what I mean? And like we see it, but I finally feel like you saw it within yourself. And that part was huge. And the results speak for, I mean, look at the type of people that you have worked with. Like not to say that everyone's social following is everything, but you now have really big names on your resume from doing what you love to do. And I watch you even kind of be like, oh, I don't know if this is what I should be doing. And I feel like this is a big year of confirmation for you, and also validation for you that you're on the right path, and sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Forrest.
Thank you. Flowers.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of fun, and it's been what I've always wanted to do. So it just makes it so much more fulfilling. And the fact that I can work with you guys on in different ways too is just that much cooler for me. And then making sure that, because I feel like I have a responsibility to make sure that you guys are also successful. And again, that's another reason why making sure that this is fun and this is a collaborative type of thing. That's why it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also I watched you choose yourself in a way that I've been wanting as your friend for you to do for a while. And it's just really fulfilling to see that happen.
Thank you. Yeah. I've seen it in you too. And in you too.
It's tough when you see, oh my gosh. Because I've been in some shitty
to put it nicely
situations where I wasn't choosing good for myself, self-betrayal.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing people around me do the same. And oh, it is so aggravating when you see somebody that's not choosing better for themselves. And it really is out of fear. Like, oh, I'm not going to find somebody else, or this is my last chance, or they're attached to their loyalty, which I've done. And your loyalty can actually become like your downfall.
Achilles heel.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that around, with some of my people. And it's like so irritating, because what can you say to somebody? You kind of have to have an experience of your own and just be a friend to them in a way that believe that they're going to come through.
They're not my monkeys. They're not my monkeys. So those are your monkeys. You can kind of handle them.
But it's so sad and frustrating when you see a good person being just beaten down and getting the life sucked out of them.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you want to help and you know that you can, but they had to be ready to receive. That's one of the things I've learned. Someone has to be in that place of okay, give me what you got. Talk to me. Otherwise, they're not gonna receive anything you got to say.
Nope.
It's gonna be seen as an attack.
You got to meet them where they're at.
And it also is very dependent on the type of relationship that you have with that person. So you and I could be like, can we talk? We gotta fix this. We gotta fix this. Or I would approach somebody else in my life very differently I wouldn't be able to be as upfront or as blunt or as whatever, you know?
Right. You have to, depending on the personality
Mm-hmm.
of the person
Mm-hmm.
and the depth of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I feel like, you know, genuine people, like if you come to me and I know you're genuine, you've always had your best interest in me and you're like, yo, like, I don't think you realize how this person's impacting you.
Yeah.
Like, cause you're in it, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
prep
You can't
goggles,
see it when you're in it.
right?
Yeah.
Prep goggles, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with red goggles.
Yeah.
Especially those. Yeah.
Well, when you stand in shit too long, you stop smelling it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're like, this is fine. This is fine. Like, no, you're covered in shit, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you realize? And it's like, oh, no, I didn't.
Until you get out of it, and then you look back and you're like, wow.
Oh,
I
the
really smell
cringe.
like shit.
The cringe. It's like,
I know. I'm not going through it. But your loved ones are so there for you. Like, you know what I mean? They're just like, it's okay, babe. You're here now. You're cleaned up now. You don't smell like that anymore. Like, you know?
I had a friend tell me,
Right.
yeah. I had a friend tell me, she was like, if you go back to that situation, I can't associate with you anymore. And like a light in my life, like
That's
ever
like
since I met her, nothing but and she was like stern. She was like, I can't, you're a queen and I can't see you being treated like a peasant. And I was like, oh,
I vibe with that. That's a good friend. That's a good ass friend.
and fuck yeah. And like,
Yeah.
it made me realize, holy shit. And I ended up going back and she was supportive. If you're happy, I'm happy. But if the shit keeps, and this was like down the road, right? Like,
Yeah.
but pulled away again. And she was always there for me. She was just like, you know, I just want the best for you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that was an eye opener for me to not
Mhm.
tolerate and get sucked back in too hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've told you this. I remember last year whenever we had one of our deep conversations. It was a text conversation though, and I talked to you about like the crab and the bucket analogy.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't, what is it?
So it's
Yeah.
essentially saying that
Here goes our analogies.
yes,
Yeah.
you're in a bucket full of crabs, and the other crabs are like your family, your friends,
It's like
the toxic
others
boyfriends,
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
toxic girlfriends, whatever. They're all in this and they're all in this bucket with you. You're trying to get out of the bucket of shit or turmoil, right? But then as they're just trying to grab you back in,
Pull you down.
pull you
Yeah.
back down, but you're trying to get out of that bucket. And that's the bucket analogy.
Yeah.
There's also one other one that I sent you, that same one, because it's like my favorite. It's the boiling frog. Like frogs don't realize that they're getting boiled alive until they get out of it. So like if you drop them in a hot pot of water very quickly, like they'll jump out. But if you slowly turn up the heat, they'll just sit there and they won't until they're dead.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of like being accustomed or like getting normalized to pain or hurt or abuse of whatever kind, physically, mentally, like emotionally. Yeah.
Forms of it.
And then the people that are the frogs on the sideline, they're like, yo, that water's starting to boil. You're going to get out of it?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
fine. This is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
But
Not
that's,
that bad.
yeah, that's how abusive relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or also, you kind of brought up a point about like fear, but on the other side of that is not feeling like you deserve better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's like the worthiness of it too, and also combined with the fear that I feel is like what you have to kind of work on, like your internal work, you know?
You accept the love you think you deserve.
Exactly. Because if you thought you deserved better, you would go get better.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like self-limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And why it's so important
To have self-confidence.
to have
Yes.
self-confidence.
All coming together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how would you build self-confidence?
How have I built self-confidence? I think is a better question.
Yeah.
How have we done it?
Yeah.
Putting yourself first, like figuring out your boundaries, you know, or committing to something like a prep.
Mm-hmm. Keeping
Mhm.
those small promises. I am going to wake up at 5 a.m. Doesn't matter how tired you are or whatever. You get up. You said that you were going to do it, so do it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am going to do 15 minutes of cardio. Okay, then do it.
Yeah. Well, and you're
Yeah.
going to have these like little thoughts in your head. They're like, ah, come on, just 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's
It's not
good. You
gonna
don't have
hurt.
to-
It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah, just
No.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
You know, but it's a slippery slope to fuck all.
Yeah.
it is.
And that's where you have to like really be honest with yourself.
Mhm.
But that honesty, when you do that with yourself, you build that confidence in yourself, and you're able to hold each other accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's the whole showing up for yourself, because what I know how I was before I was this, where I am now today, I didn't keep my promises to myself. And I remember how I felt the next day, waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror, like, oh shit, another day. Like, what did we do with yesterday?
Right.
And I was just like, I know I don't want to feel that way. So remembering how I want to feel the next day helped me make the decisions I know I needed to make to be proud of myself tomorrow.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what started my self-confidence journey. And that's what's kind of reinforced it and carried it through. Because I'm always thinking about, how do I want to feel in the morning? Is
Yeah.
it going to make me feel better or worse?
Mhm.
And if it's worse, we're going to choose something else. That's not the path.
Yeah.
We're going to choose something else.
Incremental changes too.
Yeah.
Little things like make your bed every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like make your bed. That's like, if that's a easy task, you get that done. And it's like, oh, okay.
One thing I got right today.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you might have had a horrible day, but at the end of the day, you have a made bed to get into,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's
Mhm.
clean, you know, like,
Yeah. Also, I think celebrating your small stuff along the way, because we get so focused and fixated, like we talked about, on like the next thing. Like we don't take some time to be like, oh man, look at all these other things I've accomplished along the way. So I have made it a conscious effort to be like, okay, let's just take a step. Yeah. Beep, beep. Let's just take a step back and realize, what have we done? Because I know the me 2 years ago will be so proud of where I'm at right now. And like, the me 2 months ago will be proud of where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? So I think just kind of not dwelling in the past, but just taking a little bit of time to reflect on how far you've come.
Yep.
Makes you feel more like, oh, I'm really doing this shit. Okay, I ain't doing too bad. Let me keep going.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Power of small wins, power of small habits.
Yeah.
Just in general. And whenever you start, the importance of self-confidence is astronomical, honestly. Like, whenever you start believing in yourself is whenever all of the other stuff will change. You'll be treated differently because you treat yourself the way that you expect other people to treat you, and you're not going to get walked all over. I mean, people will still press your buttons. They'll try, but you know what you deserve. You know what you're worthy of, and everybody's worthy.
And what you'll allow,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I think that's important too.
Yeah. I think one of the things that my mom told me at a really young age that stood out to me, and I can still hear her voice to this day, is your life is as you allow it to be. So whatever it is that you're going through, like, you have the choice on, is this something that I want to continue on? Like you were talking about with now your personal training business flourishing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have the choice. Do you want to wake up every day and be happy with what you're doing, or do you not?
Yep.
Like, what are you allowing the treatment from other people? Do you want this person to continue to treat you like crap or not?
Yep.
We have a choice. And I think we forget that we have a choice with so many things in our life.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of feel like, oh, it's on autopilot, it's out of my hands. But actually, no, what that is actually in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
A difference between like floating versus harnessing.
Yeah.
Like I am in control of this shit.
Yeah.
Not everything. You know what I mean? Because then you're going to be
hyper fixated on whether or not it's fail or non-fail.
Yes. And like I can't control traffic.
Yeah.
I can control how I respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have my moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, people 281, these are some small curves. Let's go. I have my split second. But it's learning to like, some of these things are kind of expected, but try to zen and allow people to be who they are.
Don't try and change them.
No.
So much wasted energy trying to do that. Just accept it. Decide if you want to deal with it or not.
And when you start to shine, man, you are going to piss some people off.
Say that one again.
Yeah.
Right? When you step into that light and you're like unapologetic, like this is who I am. And it's like, oh, she thinks she's all that. I am all that.
Yeah.
You don't know where I've been. You don't know what I've came through. You don't know how dark my life got. And the fact, like, thank you for recognizing that I'm shining because I was dark for such a long time. So I appreciate that it irritates you a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, let's go love yourself.
Yeah.
You want me to show you how to do that? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Come on over here because I'm going to make you all that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's never enough. There's an abundance of shine for all of us.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think some people who respond that way feel like other people shouldn't be shining brighter than they're able to shine themselves because they're stuck in the darkness.
Yes.
And they're like stuck in the thuck,
Yeah.
So I know for me, I'm always kind of like, but I can see your goodness, but you can't see it in yourself. So I've been learning to kind of like,
here's a mirror.
Yeah.
Look in it.
Yeah.
You see how cool you are.
Yeah.
You see how amazing you are.
And then I'm playing towards that instead of being like, okay, well, screw them. They're trying to like bring me down type.
Yeah. And like, meeting people where they're at. Like I've had friends in the dark. It's like, let me get down there with you. I got a light. Come on, let's get out of here,
Yeah.
let's not stay here. You know, you can be in the dark, but let's not live here.
Yeah.
And, you know, leaning on that vulnerability, leaning on people when you need to like pull yourself out of it, you know?
But you can never want it more for somebody else than they want it for themselves.
Amen.
That part. Yeah, because some people, they're committed to the chaos. Like, they're committed, like, they don't feel like they're alive unless
Shit's
something's
going wrong.
Yeah, like, something has to always be wrong. And I think once you're out of that place, you can see it for what it is and be like, okay, listen, I'm going to have to love you from afar because this season right now, like, this is heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the more you go through, the more compassion and empathy you can extend. But also at the same time, you build more boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, people are mirrors.
They are.
So it's like I see somebody going through stuff. I'm like, damn, I've been there.
Yeah.
So what would have helped me is somebody that didn't feed into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we're going to focus on this over here, not the pile of shit over there.
Yeah.
Let's put that like blinders on real quick.
Let's spray some poopery on it. We ain't gonna look over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to have like that self-belief before you manifest,
Yeah.
you know, and getting to that point of just believing in yourself sometimes just takes that leap of faith. And also like finally going, screw it.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to like you.
Yeah.
No.
And
you can't make everyone happy with your decisions. So live your life.
live your life.
I have another analogy that we are not everybody's cup of tea, but we could be somebody's coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Or protein shake.
Whatever floats your boat. Yeah.
Or protein sludge.
Yeah. I felt like I was hella loud with my apple, so I was like, I'll wait.
I don't know, ASMR.
Yeah, true.
People have
can
to
start
like
doing
eat that apple.
It's so cute. I got Gigi this. I got her one too for her birthday. It was a couple months ago. And I just thought it was cute. Because it has space to put your little chopsticks, and especially whenever I'm doing... I like to eat with chopsticks.
Noodles.
Anything.
Just to slow you down. Does it slow down your eating? Yeah. I've tried that in the past.
I do small spoons.
I love small
I do
spoons too.
Yeah.
Or small scratches.
Cute.
That is super cute.